Hola clase. So for my Spanish video presentation, I decided to do it about alcoholic beverages within Hispanic countries. So first one I learned about was El Vino de Naranja, which is it's orange wine. So it's very popular in Spain and is produced in Huelva and Malaga, Spain. Um, so yeah, orange wine is pretty much just white wine except that it's fermented and made with along with white grapes with orange peels, and so yeah, it's a very sweetened taste with as opposed to normal your traditional red and white wines, and then yeah, so the color kind of goes from like a dark orange to like a light brown, and that's just pretty much dependent on um, how long the wine has been aging and how many orange peels are used during the process. So I thought that was a very interesting drink. And then also one that I'm very familiar with is tequila. So one thing I did not know about tequila before researching was that tequila can only be considered tequila when it's made in the city of Tequila, Mexico. So the reason for this is because the plant used to make tequila, blue agave, which is like the plant you need more than anything to make tequila. Like you cannot make tequila without this plant. Is pretty much it grows in other parts of the world, but it's pretty much only grown at such like a enormous rate in Tequila, Mexico, and that's because of the volcanic soil in Tequila, Mexico. It makes it very fertile for blue agave to grow. Um, Another thing with tequila, obviously people drink it straight up with a shot, with salt and lime, is very common, but also uses a mixture with drinks like such as margaritas and such. Another thing about tequila is that in America tequila can only be sold if it is at least 40% alcohol, which I thought was very interesting and kind of weird. Um, but yeah, so yeah, that's it with tequila. Very interesting, and obviously it's very important to Mexican culture. Um, Another drink that I'm familiar with but learned a lot about was rum. Now, rum is actually very strangely important to like the history of like North America and like the Caribbean, which I thought was extremely interesting. Um, so yeah, rum was used during the triangle trade between the British Isles, colonial America, and the Caribbean, obviously. So the reason why it's made a lot in the Caribbean is because the Caribbean produces a lot of sugar cane, which is like the number one ingredient. It's like what blue agave is to tequila, sugar cane is to rum. Rum is also produced in strangely the Philippines and India, just because they're also both um, big sugar cane producing countries. And yeah, so with rum back in the day, um, people would use it. I mean, sadly, it was produced by slaves, and people would even exchange slaves during the transatlantic slave trade with rum, which I thought was strange and interesting. But yeah, rum was very important to people back then. Um, Obviously, pirates would, pillage and steal people's rum a lot. Rum was even used as like a political um, um, sort of motivation. Um, a lot of people would bribe political figures in order to sway decisions with just offering them a bunch of rum, which I thought was interesting. So yeah, rum is a distilled drink, and it actually gets its color similar to tequila. Tequila is the same deal, where the darker it is really based on the aging process of the drink, as well as what wood is used um, during like the aging process when they're putting it in the barrels. So yeah, but rum actually eventually declined in popularity at one point because of there was because of sugar taxes placed by the British um, government, as well as the popularity of whiskey in America was going up, and I guess that was like their kind of like replacement for rum. So yeah, so another drink I learned about is called Calimocho, which honestly I don't know. It doesn't really sound too appetizing to me, but it's from Spain, dating back from the 70s, and it's just literally equal parts red wine and cola. So yeah. So another drink is chicha. Lastly, is chicha. So chicha is very popular in Latin America, and it's like an ancient drink. It's been used in like it's very important to like the Incan culture. And yeah, so it's popular in Latin America, specifically the Amazonia and um, the Andes region. So Yeah, so they were used as it's like a corn beer, and it can be alcoholic or non-alcoholic, and yeah, so it's very important to the Incan culture. It's even used as like a rite of passage. So during like certain ceremonies, a boy would drink some chicha, and then they would get their new like man name afterward. So it's a little bit kind of like a bar mitzvah, I'd say. But yeah, that's what I learned about these drinks, and then I also have questions as well in Spanish or en español. So, verdadero o falso preguntas. Número uno, el ron se hace en el Caribe. Verdadero o falso. Vino de naranja es originario de Italia. Verdadero o falso. Tequila solo se puede hacer en México. Verdadero o falso. So, and then multiple choice preguntas. Uno, calimocho es una mezcla de vino y A, cerveza. B, agua. C, cola. Número 2. La chicha es muy importante para qué cultura. A, Inca. B, Aztec. C, Mayan. 3. El tequila está hecho de qué planta. A, aloe vera. B, agave azul. O C, agave verde. Uh, and then my final question is lo que hace que las bebidas como el ron y tequila adquieren su color. So yeah, that was my presentation. I hope y'all learned a lot. I certainly did. And thank you and adios.